All right. So, three things to avoid when you are trying to lose weight. One is sleep deprivation. If you are sleep deprived, it is going to be a lot harder to lose weight because if you are reducing calorie intake and exercising to be able to create a calorie deficit to promote weight loss, then being sleep deprived is going to make that much, much more difficult. It's really hard to exercise and be motivated to continue exercise and be motivated to eat foods that are healthy, whole foods that are minimally processed and free from added fats and sugars when you're tired. Because when you're fatigued, you're not going to feel like working out and you're going to be craving foods that are high in carbohydrates, especially refined carbohydrates, and high in fats. Because when the body is in an energy deficit, your brain is going to subconsciously drive you towards seeking out foods that are going to correct that calorie deficit and give you fast energy and lots of energy in a small package. And calorie dense foods that are really high in added sugars or refined carbohydrates and really high in fat, although very satisfying in what your body is wanting in those times when you're fatigued and in a calorie deficit, those foods are going to be counterproductive and unhelpful in helping you reach your weight loss goal. So sleep deprivation is one thing that I would encourage all of my weight loss patients to avoid. Another thing that I encourage my weight loss patients to avoid is dehydration. Dehydration has some of the same effects that sleep deprivation has. When we are dehydrated, we have lower energy, our cognitive function or capacity to make good decisions goes down, and we get these really strong thirst cues to tell us to drink, but oftentimes we misconstrue those or misinterpret those as cues to eat. And so our appetite actually goes up when we're dehydrated because our brain is just telling us to get some kind of replenishment into the body as quickly as possible. And it's really easy to choose foods that are high in salt, high in sugar, highly refined processed foods when we are dehydrated. Oftentimes those foods will cause water retention, which is one of the things that the body's trying to do when you're dehydrated, is hold on to as much water as possible. And so avoiding dehydration is really important when you are working to lose weight or you're on a weight loss plan. So the third thing that I would encourage all of my weight loss patients to avoid is a protein deficiency. So protein does a lot of things for our bodies when we're trying to lose weight. One thing that protein does is it helps us to feel full and stay full longer. So we have less food noise, fewer cravings, better satiety. Protein-rich foods typically take longer to digest, especially minimally processed protein-rich foods, things like chicken, steak, eggs, animal proteins primarily, even some dairy proteins, like what comes from low-fat cottage cheese or Greek yogurt. Those take longer to break down and digest than carbohydrates do. And so because they take longer to digest, they help us to stay satisfied longer. And they also don't spike our blood sugar or cause our blood sugar to drop so quickly. So they help us to avoid cravings or avoid feeling that like, oh my goodness, I have to eat something right now sort of feeling, that desperation for food. The other benefit of eating plenty of protein when you are trying to lose weight is that when you are on a reduced calorie diet, you will lose some muscle along with the fat that you're losing. If you are optimizing protein intake while you are reducing calories and working towards weight loss, it will be a lot easier to preserve lean muscle mass, which is important, one, for overall health and functioning, but also for preserving your metabolic function. So more muscle mass improves insulin sensitivity. It increases your non-exercise calorie burn. So you burn more calories at rest when you have a higher percentage of lean muscle mass. And then of course, when we have more muscle mass, it helps us to feel stronger. So it's easier to carry groceries in from your car or open a jar of peanut butter or pickles, or, we just have better function and we feel better when we have more lean muscle mass. So those would be the three things that I would encourage all weight loss patients to avoid would be 1, sleep deprivation, 2, dehydration, and 3, protein deficiency.